Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are doing our XFL game spread and over-under predictions. It is my spring break, so if y'all also have your spring break, have a good spring break. So, yeah. Last week on the over-unders, I went 2-2, my dad went 2-2. Last week really wasn't the greatest week, because on the spreads, I went 2-2. My dad went 1-3, and then don't even get me started on the pick'em. You know, just when we're taking them straight up, I went 1-3, and my dad went 0-4. So not the greatest week, but you know what? It'll be okay. So I gotta find my stuff now. So starting it off, we have the Seattle Sea Dragons versus the Orlando Guardians. So yeah. So last week was a tough week for the Orlando Guardians. Lost to the Vipers 35-32. That's got to be devastating. I mean, the Guardians just have not gotten a win this year, and they're the away team. You know, it's hard. A great fought game, lost by 3 points, and that's just tough. I mean, I really do feel bad for them. I mean, but you know, the same thing could have been said about the Vipers if they would have lost. So, I mean, it's just a tough way to lose last week. They're definitely just don't really have a lot of momentum going into this. They definitely feel better that they got, close in that game. But the fact that they're the worst team in the league starting last week is just not a great look, which I think we already knew that, but still. And of course, they're going up against the Seattle Sea Dragons, who just upset the Houston Roughnecks, holding that elite offense to only 14 points and putting up 21 points themselves against a great pass rush. And you know that, I think his name's Davis. Is he on the Roughnecks or is he on the Defenders? And I'm not even sure if his name's Davis, but he's been really good. I'm not sure what team he's on, but he goes pretty. I think he's on the Defenders. My bad. But you know, it's okay. Anyways, I got the Sea Dragons winning this one. They have so much momentum right now, and the Guardians are just absolutely spiraling out of control. I have the Sea Dragons taking this one at the Guardians, and so does my dad. So yeah. However, if we do go over to the spread, I will be taking the Guardians plus 9.5. And you know, I'm doing this because if you look back at all the scores from the Seattle Sea Dragons, it's always close. I mean, last week it was 3 points. Last week, my bad, sorry. Last week it was 7 points, okay? The week before that, I think it was 3 points. The week before that, it was 2 points. The week before that, it was 2 points. So every game that the Seattle Sea Dragons is a one-score game. So I do not see them winning by more than 9.5. I'm taking the Guardians in this one for the spread, and so is my dad. So, yeah. Next up, we have the Battlehawks at the Vipers, and this is an interesting one. So, as y'all know, my favorite team is the Battlehawks, and they are at the Vipers. Battlehawks had, I think they played a good game against the Defenders, the best team in the league up to this point. And you know, it's just they ended up throwing an interception late to Davis, the Defenders corner. Arguably the best, not even arguably, I think he's just the best corner in the XFL. But I mean, you know, it's tough. We're going up against the best team. We've lost to them once already, and you know, we lost to them again at their home stadium. So, you know, nothing, or was that at our stadium? I don't know, but we still lost, and we threw a game-losing interception. So, you know, not the greatest from A.J. McCarron, because he did have a wide-open guy in the flats. But, you know, it's whatever. I'm not mad about it. Okay, anyways. So, as for the Vipers, they had a great win last week, winning by 3 points, getting their first win of the season, getting that $1,000 paycheck, a little bit more trust, a little bit more chemistry built up in their locker room after that win, a lot more momentum, and they're excited to come out and play for their home fans after getting their first home win and first win, you know, in general last week. I think I have to take the Vipers in this one. I'm still going to be cheering for my Battlehawks, but I think the Vipers just have a little bit of an edge here. Even though they might not be the better team, I think they are the more, I just think coming into this game situationally, I think they could win this one, and I think they will win this one. However, my dad is going to take the Battlehawks, so, you know, personal preference, I guess. So, the spread is obviously or not obviously, but the spread is plus 3.5 Vipers. And so, I'm going to take the Vipers because I took them to win. So, I mean, if you're giving them more points, why would I not take them? My dad is going to take the Battlehawks, so that's cool. Yeah. As for the over-under, where is it? Here it is. Oh, shoot, I didn't even do the over-under on the last game. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Sea Dragons at Guardians, over-under 42.5. We're going back to the Sea Dragons game. I completely forgot to do the over-under. Sea Dragons at Guardians, over-under 42.5 points. The Sea Dragons and Guardians just have a really good offense. I know the Sea Dragons only put up 21 points, but they're going up against a really good but they went up against a really good team in the Houston Roughnecks. And I know some games they have definitely underperformed on offense, but I think against this Guardians defense, they will be able to easily put up points with Ben DiNucci and Josh Gordon and Martavis Bryant's not on the team. But you guys know what I'm saying. And as for the Guardians, their offense, I think, has probably been their strong point. Not that they have a strong point necessarily, but I think their offense can definitely put up some points. And I think they will. So I'm going to take the over. However, my dad is going to take the under. So, yeah. Moving on to the Battlehawks and Vipers over-under. Sorry, we had to, just do some things. But, yeah, so the Battlehawks at the Vipers over-under is 44.5. And I'm going to take the over because I think these teams definitely have high-powered offenses. I know the Battlehawks only put up 20 points last week. And, the Battlehawks offense is kind of dormant till the fourth quarter. And, they don't really score a lot. But when you're going up against the Vipers are going to put points on the board. They put up 35 points, last week. They always have the high-scoring games. I can't exactly remember the scores from their previous games, but they're putting points on the board. And I think the Battlehawks will definitely, see they're putting points on the board, and they'll put points on the board. I mean, I think that's just kind of how it goes, You're not going to get blown out by the Vipers. So, but it's just kind of weird. If another team's scoring and you're not way worse than that team, you're going to be scoring too. It's just weird. I don't know. That's just how it works sometimes. But anyways, I'm taking the over, and my dad will take the over as well. So, yeah. Next up, we have the Brahmas at the Dallas Renegades, and the Brahmas obviously lost last week 12-10 at the Dallas Renegades. Just, wasn't the greatest game by any means. The Brahmas defense was really good, played a great game, held them to 12 points, for how their defense was, or how their offense was doing. So great game defensively, but offensively it just didn't really work. And, that's how the Renegades play their style of football. They're going to have a great defense. They're going to run the ball down your throat. And I think the Brahmas just let them play their style of football. And, that's why they lost. The Renegades did what they needed to do. They did what they wanted to do, and they controlled the game, and they got the win. However, going into this next week, they just played last week. It's the Brahmas against the Renegades. Last week it was the Renegades at the Brahmas. Okay? So it is going to be the same matchup. These teams have already played against each other. They already know what they're going to try and do. They already know the defensive schemes that they run. They already know the offensive schemes that they run. And they're just going to build off of that and learn from it. And they're going to say, all right, this corner, just doesn't do very good. So throw it to him. Or something, that's a stupid explanation, but you guys know what I mean. So I think definitely some more points will be on the board this week than 12-10. I think the offenses will definitely have a better strategy going into this week, and I think more than 22 points will be scored this time. So I'm going to take the Brahmas because that's not the Renegade style of football, and it's really hard to beat a team twice in 2 weeks, in a row. It's really hard to beat a team twice in a row. I know they beat them away, so they should beat them at home, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to take the Brahmas in this one. However, my dad will take the Renegades. So, yeah. Next up, we have the spread, which is Renegades minus 2.5. So if I'm taking the Brahmas straight up, I'd take them with points. So I'm taking the Brahmas. However, my dad will take the Renegades. So, yeah. As for the over-under, we kind of already talked about this. The over-under is 32.5. So I'm going to take the over. I think there will definitely be some more points scored in this game. Maybe up to the 40s. I don't know. By the way, that was definitely offsides on the defense. I don't know what this game was talking about, okay? I'm just a little, like, upset because, like, that was definitely on them. But anyways, but, yeah. My dad will take the under. I don't know if I already said that, but, yeah. I'll take that. Okay, next up, we got the Roughnecks at the Defenders. And this is an interesting game. So, a battle of the two best teams in the league. One from Texas. One from the capital. Who will win? So, the Roughnecks ended up losing last week, as we all know, 14-21, losing to the Seattle Sea Dragons on a Thursday night game. And, you know, that's not the greatest look for the Roughnecks at all. You know, the Sea Dragons were kind of just waiting back and forth, you know, not really doing good. They started off the year 0-2, but then they really got on momentum and have won the last 3 games in a row. So, you know, and now they just beat the greatest team, or who we all thought was the best team in the league, and the Roughnecks. So the Roughnecks are not feeling great about themselves. You know, they didn't get their $1,000 bonus check. They were held to 14 points. They let Ben DiNucci and Josh Gordon put up 21 points. They just kind of, you know, it was a bad game. You know, you give up 21, you only score 14. It's just mid. Wasn't the greatest performance from them. But I think that's good for a team. You know, you're 4-0. You haven't lost. You think you're on top of the world. Then you lose. Now you have something to build off of. You have something to learn from. You have something to just understand and, you know, see what you did wrong, and you can get better off of a loss, and especially when it's not going to hurt your playoff chances. I mean, you're 4-1. You're easily, you know, going to win your division, but, I mean, assuming you don't just fall off, but, you know, but I think it is a good thing to do. It's just good to lose sometimes. I think it's the best thing for this Roughnecks team at this point. However, they're going up against the DC Defenders, who just beat their rival team in the Battlehawks. And yes, I consider it a rivalry at this point, the Defenders, Battlehawks. So they're hype. Davis, the top corner in the league. I'm just saying it. The top corner in the league, that Davis guy. I think his last name's Davis. I don't know. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Got the game-winning pick last week. He's the best corner in the league. And I think he's really going to help shut down the receivers for the Roughnecks. Maybe get a couple interceptions. You know, really hurt the chemistry and the trust in that team. And, you know, the Roughnecks, they just don't have a lot of momentum right now. They're feeling kind of down. But the main thing is, the Defenders' home crowd is insane. Probably the second best in the league. I'd say the first of the Battlehawks have the most attendance. But when you think about it, the Defenders' home crowd is the most active in the game. They're going to get crazy. They're going to throw lemons on the field. They're going to have their beer snake. They're going to be ready to go, and they're going to help their team win. They're going to be loud and try and draw an offsides or a false start. And they're going to be loud at that goal line or the end zone. You already know. So I have to take the Defenders at home. The two best teams in the league. One team's coming off of a loss. I think the Roughnecks could definitely pull this one out. But the home crowd for the Defenders is just too good to pass up. So I'm going to take the Defenders to win this game. So, yeah. So, the spread for this game is Defenders minus 2.5. And, you know, that's just not really enough points to not take the Defenders. So I'm still going to stay with the Defenders. And my dad will also take the Defenders. He also took them straight up, by the way. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, he did. Okay. And then the over-under. Frick, I picked the wrong one. Okay, and then the Roughnecks at Defenders over-under is 41.5. And look, most of the, except for the Battlehawks Defenders games, most of the games that are, you know, big games, like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but the Roughnecks offense kind of got exposed last week. Only put up 14 points. The Defenders' offense is waiting to get exposed. They've been going hard, and they've been scoring, and they've been lighting their teams up, and they've been doing really well. And they're going up against the best pass rush in the league. You know, even with your running quarterbacks and your mobile quarterbacks, that's going to be tough on Jordan Teamu and little De'Aaron King running that read option every time when you got those big defensive linemen coming right at you. I'm going to take the under in this one. I know the offenses are the strengths for both teams, I would say. But there's just something about the matchup that makes me want to take the under, and I'm going to take the under. So, yeah. However, my dad will take the over, so that's cool too, I guess. I don't know if I already said it, but there's no word of the day. I'm sorry. My friend is, doing stuff. It's spring break, so, he's not answering. But anyways, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna let you guys watch until halftime. By the way, I'm not even gonna spoil it. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys next time.
He's brought down. Remember here, no timeouts left. They got to get to the line quick. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime.